Hello, and welcome back to Hourglass episode 16. Guys, we're gonna kick this one off fast and furious because Zelda has really bad time management this week. This past weekend was Minecraft Live, where they announced the updates coming in the next launch, basically. So 118 we all knew was part 2 of Caves and Cliffs, and then they announced the update was going to be the wild update for 119. And as part of the announcements that they did, they also had a segment of Minecraft Dungeons. Now, Zelda had not played Minecraft Dungeons, except once with Vault Dweller 32, my husband. I had not ever played it except one time with Vault on the Switch. Now, if you know anything about me, I am primarily operating on my computer for the last 6 years. So the fact that I was playing on Switch, I just had a really difficult time with the controller, controlling the characters' movements and fighting and navigating. So I didn't really have fun. It wasn't like my thing. But guys, after the announcements at Minecraft Live and after talking with Vault and some of the people that hang out with us in our Discord, I went ahead, I got it. I got Dungeons, and I've totally spent the last 3 days, all of my available time has been going to playing dungeons, leveling up my characters, playing with some of my friends on the server, on the Discord server. So Zelda's not been playing regular Minecraft for, since like Friday night. I haven't been here since Friday night, and it is now Tuesday night. So, oh my gosh, more like 4 days. I thought 3, but more like 4. So I'm gonna be working on this build next. Now, at the very end of the last episode, I did say what it was going to be is going to be it's going to be the witch's house. It was going to be a cottage, but it's turning more into the full coven. So when I bring you guys back after the time lapse, you guys will see what I mean by that. But basically, there's going to be the place the witches live, and it's going to have a water wheel on the backside there. So I'm going to kick off now, so to say. And get the time lapse rolling for you before I can sneak away and go play any more dungeons. Don't, Zelda, don't, focus. Zelda, focus. Do the build. Bye! Welcome back from the time lapse, guys. Now, I had some interestingness with the time lapse. You might have noticed that I had to dig out a spot, and then also I didn't go from bottom to top. I did kind of a level at about that mid-level there. I thought it would be easier to kind of section off the areas. I didn't like it. I don't know. Working with the replay mod is still a bit of a work in progress for me. So it was a little bit of a learning experience. And then also, additionally, we're not quite finished with the build yet. And that was the other thing, is I missed some of the materials, so I had to go back. So I had to pause the replay a couple times. But I think we've got the bulk of it, the beast, the base work of it done. We've got most of the detailing in, but I've got to figure out the landscaping. So we have a couple options there, is that we can actually, I was looking at it, we could move this door here over to this side, and it would actually fit pretty well. And then I could pretty much just use, put in back in a lot of the terraforming that was already here. which might make it look kind of nice, like that there was like intentionally a, you know, the lower foundation and then the upper part, and it was kind of built into this hill, which is what I'm thinking I might do, because otherwise I'm going to have to pull out a lot of this hill here to make this make sense. And I don't want to mess with the trees and or any of the other detailing. Thankfully, the area was pretty well untouched. Pants left me a lot of room to work with originally. So I could go either way, but I really think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this door to the other side, to that side there, and then just kind of return the hill. Might change up this little detail just a little to make it make sense. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to work on the interior eventually. I don't think that's our next step. I think this exterior, finishing this all off, is going to be what I want to finish up. So other than moving the door and working on the landscape, you'll notice that the gray area, so like the actual foundation and the chimneys, are all really well detailed in that there's like a variety of blocks. There's some, you know, patches where we get the cracked brick variant, the tile, and then the cracked tiles. And then in the foundation itself, we have some spots of basalt, some of the deep slate coal, which I love all of that, and especially how it transitions. But we do have some areas that are looking a little bare. So that's basically all of the, we'll call it the trim, all of the wood parts, and especially the roof. The roof just looks plain and basic compared to, ooh, hello. Probably put too much of that on. Yeah, so it looks really like smooth, way too smooth. So like what they did on the, I think this is the inn right here. So what Corgis did on the inn was she mixed in a bunch of wood types, which I really like, and has some of the stripped in it. But I think I'm going to try something else. And like on this one, I can't use that because then my chimneys would blend in. I don't want to use the netherrack. So we're gonna try something else. I think I tested it a little bit in creative, so I think it'll work. Also, now my scaffolding is in the way. Oh my gosh. Can you tell that I worked on my camera angles before? Yeah, totally got the best camera angles for this discussion we're having here. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on texturing this up quite a bit. The wood, I'm gonna move the door, I'm gonna work on the terrain, and then we did say it's going to be the water wheel house. I have to add the water wheel to it. So I wanted to hold off on that until I knew what the foundation was going to look like. Because this is part of the shoreline, but the blocks they used for the shore match the most of the build blocks. So I want to kind of, I think I'm going to put some blackstone at the very, very bottom to really separate the build from the shore. Just because I didn't realize this was gonna happen. That's one of the chances you take when you design something in creative, is that then when you move it into the world, it plays a little bit differently. I didn't really think about that, but I think we're making really great progress. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'll just cut right here. We're not gonna do another time lapse, unfortunately, just because this is gonna be a lot of me deciding which blocks to like poke out and change and swap and what looks good where. But I will bring you back when we have another update on the witch's quote-unquote hut. Also, I just realized, okay, you guys see it? You guys see it, don't you? The schematic was telling me that was the wrong block, and I was like, no, it's not. That's fine. I put the wrong block there. I will fix that. Or maybe that's some of the texturing we do. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Let's let Zelda go wallow in her misery for not knowing how to do the Minecraft thing. As I play around with some new block variants, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, welcome back from that cut. I've had a few minutes to recompose myself. I think I left off laughing hysterically, maybe that was the cut before. I don't know. This is all blurring together. This week is blurring together, but guess what guys? We've got some of the details in. And I hope that you agree with me that it looks really cool. So what I did was I went with a similar color to the spruce. Instead of mixing wood types, I did a combination of coarse dirt, rooted dirt. The stairs there are the granite stairs, and then also there are just a few. Let's see if we can find one of them. I put in like 3 or 4 dripstone. I like dripstone quite a bit. Also, I always press record right when I need to type. Okay, so the granite is the only of the blocks that I chose to use. I wanted to use the dirt and the rooted dirt because I've seen grass roofs before and I thought those looked really cool. So I was like, oh, let's do like a brown version of that. But the stairs and the roof is half made out of stairs and half made out of blocks. So I had to kind of compromise and pick a block that was similar in the colors spectrum. So which is why we end up with granite in the roof also. And I decided not to rough up the trim or the like supports at all. So I don't know. I might still texture that up. It does still look really nice and neat and pristine. But I definitely like what we did with the roof. And then as we come around the side over here, you probably saw it just there in the corner. There is the, oh, hello. Hi, bad angle. Get up on the land. Thank you, character. There is the water wheel. So I have a big thank you to give to Oren. He helped me finish out the detailing of this. I got the shape I wanted, the size I wanted it to be. But Oren actually was in the creative world with me the day that I was testing stuff, and he put the stairs on, he put the cross supports in, the trapdoors, and the chains that you see there. So I wanted to definitely give a big shout out to Oren and say a huge thank you. And like from this side, it looks really cool, I think. So the people that are going to be in the sanitarium are going to have a really good view of this. Then I did do a couple of the things that I said I was going to, where I switched out the whole shoreline for blackstone, just to give it kind of that more waterlogged look. I like the difference there. I was going to bring this like brown mixture of the forest floor out and around the build, but it got so close, like we're literally like this is shore. So I didn't want to do that. I opted against that. So I just left it where the mycelium had been. And then you'll see that I did move the door over to that far side and got rid of it from this area and brought the terrain in, filled it out. And then the only other thing on the exterior that we did was we added some supports for these eaves. I think they're called eaves. I don't know. But we added something to the help make them look a little bit more supported, so that there's some detail, but then also it's like it's not just kind of hovering, kind of floating. So I think I'm done. I think I'm done with the outside. I'm like 90% sure I'm done, because like I said, I don't think I'm gonna mess with the dark oak trim any. I might still. I can't say. That's why we're only 90% sure. But then we've got the stairs that go up and inside. And full confession, Zelda's been working for like an hour. I'm not done by a long shot, but I wanted to bring you in to show you the outside before I forgot all the changes we made, and also to show you what, kind of a little bit about how I do interiors a little bit. So the very first thing that I do is I section off the areas that I'm going to work with. So once we knew where the doors were going to be on the outside and where the windows are, and kind of like, this is a really big build. So also, I have no blocks in my inventory. Let me go get a light source. I've been going back and forth to storage like hecka several times. I should just move all this inside. But let's get, I guess, some torches in our offhand so that you guys can see in there, because it is really dark. I know last episode in my cave, there was a whole, 30 seconds that was just, pitch black. But thankfully for Optifine, it lights up the area when we have a light source in our hands. So basically, I just came in and I decided, I want it to be a lot of like different levels. So one of the first things I did was I sectioned off this area with this kind of stripped wood. So I don't know if the wall's going to stay exactly. It's really hard because some of the roof blocks and some of the wall blocks show in here, and so it's like it's going to look really messy and cluttered and detailed in the end, which is fine. It's fine. So we sectioned this off, and then also we went down, but I didn't want the stairs. The way the stairs were going to go was like lead right out into this big open room. So instead what I made was a little balcony that flips back around this way. So then now we have this room here, and then this bigger, taller open room in here. And now, just behind, I think it's behind this. I think either this wool or this gravel is where the actual crank would come in from the water wheel. So we do still have some space here that we could make something that looks like what an actual water wheel would be doing, because it would be turning. It would be creating that kind of like friction, that energy, to like crush stuff on the inside, or like, I don't know, generate power of some kind. So we have this like a lot of vertical height I left in this room by putting in that balcony instead of bringing the stairs down or like wrapping them somehow around in the center and like cutting off the two rooms together. So I really like the way that these two areas have flown together, have come together. I like this little balcony so we can oversee this area, whatever I end up putting down there. And then this room here, and then what I'm calling in my head the main room. And then up here is more of what I'm calling the bedrooms. So I'm going to section this one off. Probably, I'm thinking into thirds. So like one over here, one here, and then one back there. Or maybe even two. I don't know. We'll see. But basically, there's supposed to be like a whole coven of witches basically chilling in here. So I want to make sure I get as much detail space as possible. So this area might still be subsectioned further. And it might help me disguise some of these, like these are wall blocks on the outside, those are wall blocks from down below. So it might help me disguise up some of this depending on how I section the areas. And then the final spot we have is attic storage. And now this one gets a little funny because of where the roof and the chimney connect. So I've got to, obviously I'll probably just put a block there. But I wanted to bring you in at this point just to show you that like interiors in Minecraft can be really messy because of the exterior pieces and the interior pieces. You don't always have a lot of really good space in order to get like exactly what you imagine. But I think we're going to have a lot, like we have a ton of space to work with, honestly. Like this is a massive build, much bigger than I originally thought when I was mapping it out. So, the other thing I was going to say is down here, I think we're going to have like a potion-y area or animal area, which is why I left this opening on this side. So we'll either have like creatures or something, I don't know, in there. So basically I'm going to work on detailing it out on the interior, and then this is I'm sorry, it's gonna be kind of like the tavern where one build takes me like the whole time to make the whole week, the whole episode, just because I have again had really bad time management this week. But the sanitarium will be coming up very soon. But I'm having a lot of fun with this build and just kind of go into town with it. So we will, oh, hi there, bushes. Hello. All I want to do is to have a nice view of this real quick. We'll do one more cut, I think, hopefully, I hope. And I'll be able to bring you guys back into a fully completed interior. And welcome back for the final update of the Witch's Hut. I say with quotations and a question mark. So the last thing we had left to do was the interior. So what we'll do is we'll just go in the front door and we're gonna look at all of the interior work together. Now, a couple of things before we go in. I have not been feeling well at all today. I've been very low energy because I got kind of sick, like fever, and just achy all over. So this was a nice kind of just chill. Zelda just kind of got in the zone, and it actually made me feel a lot better. So without further ado, we're going to go in. Now, each room is going to be a little bit different and unique, and I'm gonna shut the doors so that we can kind of focus on one at a time. Also, yes, I have bad trapdoor placement. But basically, so this is the living room, and now because they're witches and they're out in the wilderness, I really kind of went heavy, oh for the love, went heavy on the greenery in this room because I thought, you know, they want a place to unwind that's very natural to them. So all the blocks in here are either like this kind of warm natural color or of wood, or they are kind of green accents. That's the spore blossom is the only thing that's not really exactly green or brown, but I wanted to get as much of the particle effects into the build as possible. So there's pretty much a spore blossom in every room I could figure out. So I think what we'll do is we'll go upstairs first, and so a little cupboard under the stairs. And now, yes, unfortunately there is string in the build because I did want to use regular vines, and already it's grown more than I anticipated. I forgot that it would grow up to this top part, so it's a little bit overgrown. And then this section is kind of what I would call, so green with accents out there, and this would be obviously yellow accents in here. So we've got the fire, we've got the bell, coral. This is a waterlogged sandstone stair, which I love the texture on the top and the side, and the fact that we can have a live coral because you can't put those in pots. Now this is my only banner there's two of my banner designs in here, and then there are three banner designs by another person. Sorry, I should have had my notes pulled up. The banner designs for the witches' bedrooms are from Mindy TV, and there will be a link down below. But this one I kind of did after I looked at some of her tutorials because I kind of learned how to stack the effects a little better. So this one is mine. But once we get upstairs, you'll see that she has some really cool ideas. So now each one of these, also, I forgot to shut all the doors. I'm giving little hints, little secrets away before we even get started. So if you remember, one of the things I said when we were first talking about how I do my interiors is sectioning off the rooms, and I said I thought that I might get 3 bedrooms in here. It was a little bit trickier than I first anticipated because one stairway was over here and then the other stairway was over there. So the rooms are kind of small, and there's this like really kind of weird twisty hallway, but that's okay. And I got little nooks for storage. Well, we're gonna have to hold on. Let's fix that really quick. It's gonna keep trying to do that one, I think. No, okay, good. Whew, okay. I was like, I just finished cleaning up my whole mess, and to have to, oh my gosh, to have to fix something. I'm so sorry. I did mention that I'm not feeling great, right? So basically I tried to use as much non-regular torchlight as possible. So I did use torches, but I used the soul torches. And then each of these rooms that we go into has a different color theme. So this is the orange room. And it is a little bit snug. This is the smallest room. And there is storage under the stairs. And again, this banner design is by Mindy TV, and I think it's my favorite one that I learned how to do. And after I learned how to do that one is when I then I did that one, because it's got a lot of the same kind of levels to it. So I just kind of revised how the levels went together. So as many details as I could possibly fit that kind of fit the color scheme went into each room. And then this one, what I'm saying is this is my room. I am themed. Oops, sorry, smoke. I haven't practiced these angles yet. I am themed. My outfit would look like I would go in this room. So this is what I'm saying is Zelda's room in the witch's cottage. So we've got all the pretty purple and magenta stuff, and then we do have, I have a little bit of storage up here, a little bit of wardrobe here, more storage. So I basically tried to fit in as many details as possible into every little space. So that was my room. Now, this one, what I would say would be the, like, oh, let's also put our armor back on. How about? Oh, we're on a mushroom. Oh, whoopsies. That wasn't supposed to be there. I needed extra light while I was working, so, yep. Whoops, my bad. This is what I would say is kind of the coven leader. So, wait, let's go sleep in my bed so that, like, that's not awkward. It's bedtime. It's so funny because you don't realize, like, I don't know, it's silly to think, like, I could totally have slept in that bed, but I'm like, no, like, in the flavor of the world, that's not mine. But then this was another one of those banner designs, and the only difference is I had to use the brick pattern for this banner design, and I used an extra fade to kind of hide it because it was like really obvious. But apparently in Bedrock you can use vines and you get like a really cool wavy pattern. So I wish that was in Java. Like, of all the things that Bedrock has, I wish we had the vine banner pattern, because that banner pattern looks really cool, but mine looked kind of janky, so I put another fade on it so it would kind of soften it. And then they have a nice seating spot, you know, fake storage here. That's not real storage. And then we continue up. Now this is, so each of the witches' bedrooms I mentioned are not my banner design. This is my second banner design. Well, and when I say second, I mean this was my first attempt before I looked up help. So then this is the attic, obviously, and the funnest thing I thought about doing up here was not just to have a big, full, one single storage room, but there's a whole separate area back here where they are storing their crystals, and because they've left them up here, and, like, in my mind, the pollen from the spore blossom is, like, kind of like helping them spread, helping them grow. It's kind of almost like fertilizer. So when they put the amethyst up here, it started to spread, and that's why my room is directly beneath this. And so if you noticed, and then also it's spreading out into the storage. So my room is directly beneath that, and I have a crystal down here too. I have a couple actually. So I thought that was really cool, is that they're just kind of like sneaking their way down. So I think that's all the fun little details up here. So let's start going downstairs. Now this is the kitchen, and like the other rooms I mentioned have a color scheme. This one was just kind of all the things, like, because the kitchen in a house is usually big and messy, and it has kind of a little bit of everything. So I forgot you could do that. Hi. This is Zelda remembering the mechanics of the game. I forgot those acted like kind of like scaffolding. So basically any type of block that was somewhere else in the build I tried to bring in. So we have the mini blocks, we have the spores, we have mushrooms, we have the glow lichen on the walls, and then the floor is starting to deteriorate as we get further down, and you'll see why that is in just a moment. But like the floor up here is fine, it's fine. But as we start to go further down, like, I'm thinking some of these light patches are where the floor is worn a little bit. So, like, obviously here where they're standing cooking and then going to the sink, there's more traffic. And then also when they come over here to get food. So I really tried to be very intentional with my details, and a little bit kind of just mixing it up. So, like, obviously they've probably spilled a potion or some food here. And then also in the corner where they haven't cleaned it up. And then also it's very rude of me to stand on the table. I should not do that. And then as we go further down, you'll see now, other than just the wearing and the spills, now we're introducing moss, because we have this room. Now, originally the plan was to have like a potions brewing area, kind of like a grow room for like all their potion ingredients, but I couldn't really come up with something that felt right to me, like as far as how I wanted to detail everything. So instead I made it a little bit of a stables for my favorite horse on the island, Trouble. And you'll notice that it is a little bit different of, like, it's not gates, but he stays in there, and I like the way it looks. It looks unnatural as far as, like, stables is concerned. And then I went a little crazy on the mix of blocks down here, and yeah, that's glow lichen on top of mossy cobble, and I think that is my favorite combination ever. I don't know why. I just really like the way that looks. And then I also used some deep slate copper ore in here because I thought it looked kind of like carrot bits, like he was mad, so he spit at me, or like he got kind of sick. Sorry, Trouble. And then the final area is kind of what was the hardest for me. This is a little secret, you guys, don't tell anyone. This is not where the water wheel actually comes in. It does actually come in, I think, where that gravel is. But I couldn't do the wheel, the turning wheel, if I put it up that high. So basically what it is, and hopefully it comes across. I know it's a little bit dark in here, but hopefully the idea of it comes across is that it's supposed to be actually a, like, working grindstone. So, I actually used the grindstones in the build, but it's meant to, as the water wheel turns out there, this one turns, and then it cranks this one, like imagine I'm looking down, it turns this one like that, and as this one's turning, these wheels crush the stuff underneath. So kind of what I got going on here is that there's some kind of like this really fine, wonderful, like crystal powered powder something, crystal thing. So that's calcite, and then these are it's being crushed up into the diorite. And yes, I know not everybody likes diorite in builds, but guess what? I like it for the flavor, because it definitely looks like it's been like crushed up, broken up, and there's like you're starting to get into the darker center where maybe the power is, past the white shiny pretty crystal outside, is kind of how I imagine it. They're trying to get to the dark power that resides within. So I really like, apparently when I'm feverish, I'm coming up with some really like very deep lore for myself. And then I did try to fill up as much block space as possible. It's a little bit bare here, but I really genuinely started running out of ideas, and I didn't want to just do another pile of barrels and stuff. So I hope, golly, this episode is going to be late because I didn't feel great. But I do really hope, hi Bat, I really do hope that it was worth the wait. There is so much in here. If you would be interested, I'm gonna try and remember to leave my Twitter link in the description of this video, and I'm gonna take detailed screenshots of each of the rooms, because I genuinely spent so much time in each one of these rooms. And because there's so much variety and needed to have like different colors and stuff, I went to storage like a bunches of time, because I'm not prepared. I would think of something and then be like, oh my god, that's great, but I didn't grab any of it from storage. So I just took a trip to the Ender a little bit ago to mend my wings, because I'd been flying back and forth so much. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight to the chaotic mind of Zelda. And I do want to get better at saying this. I say it at the end of most of my streams. A big, huge thank you for your time, especially in the videos. If you've been watching the videos and commenting on the videos, it really does mean the world to me, because I am trying to get better at producing content and more consistent. And I hate that this week is going to be late, just because I got sick. But I really genuinely haven't felt this crummy in a while. I don't remember the last time I got sick, and so when I had that fever and I was just sweating, it was awful. But I want to end on a happy note, and again, just say one last time, Thank you for your time in the videos and for any of the comments. And if you follow on Twitter, or if you join either of the Discords, the Married Magic Discord where we hang out and play games, or the Hourglass Discord where you can keep up with if anybody else is making content from the server, or updates on future seasons, is something we're going to start talking about very soon. So if you're interested in the idea of Hourglass, or just the community that is involved here, or building, or something, if something piques your interest, please check out the links below. Otherwise, I will catch you next week. Bye!